Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. I'm your host, Attorney Lee Marvin, and I'm here on this very special Halloween edition of Live with Lee. Today is October 28th, 2024. So I'm here to answer your questions, to provide information, guidance, commentary, you name it, I can do it as it relates to immigration law, family based immigration law specifically. So, um, I have been practicing law for over 20 years. I decided to specialize in the area of law of immigration about 11 plus years ago. And I've been doing it ever since. I haven't looked back because it's a great area to practice. Why? Because there's so many amazing people that I've met and helped, but also because there's so much crazy chaos that it takes somebody to specialize in immigration law to figure out the tangled weave that the government has in place for us, okay? Which is why I'm here every Monday to help you guys understand the basics and even complicated areas of immigration law. All you have to do is type your questions and comments in the comment section to get me to respond to your information requests. I'm here for you, so please ask your questions. I always tell people early on, ask your questions early on because as we get closer to the half hour mark, usually that's when everyone piles on and I don't have time to get to all the questions. So if you have questions, ask them now. And I see that I have people joining me already. I always ask people in this program to please post where they're joining from, whether it's a city or a state or a country. I want to hear where you're joining me from. I think it's a lot more interesting when people know where you're from because it triggers questions and it makes it a lot more interesting for everyone. Okay. So tell me where you're from. Okay. Um, okay. So happy girl, thank you for joining us. You spoke with my office today. Hopefully, you got the information you needed, and if not, that we're in the process of helping you figure out what your needs are. So if you have a question you want to ask on here, please feel free to ask. If you're booking a consultation with me, that's even better. Speaking of that, I will put the link here for people because I always get people ask me, how do you reach out? How do I contact you, Attorney Marvin? Well, this is how you do it. Okay, 1 second. Let me just post it real quick like. And I do have a lot of subscribers and fans from YouTube, from Instagram, and from Facebook. So thank you for joining us on these platforms. Again, Monday, October 28th, the Halloween edition. I'm not doing anything spooky, but I am talking about politics and the election, and that is I think I cut out there for a second. Um, okay, so we got my mom. This is let me show this. It's not a whole lot, but my mom filed for my sister in 2017. So I'm looking for okay, and oh, you're joining from Louisville. Okay, so thank you for joining us from Louisville. Um, so I'll ask you, Felicia, what's your question? I would like to answer your question. Please add more information there so I can provide more information to you and to the rest of the listeners. Um, okay. So, happy girl, I'm glad you're happy now because it looks like your question, you are not quite so happy. So, this is, you got a scammer. It was a very toxic and abusive situation. It was awful. I tell you what, there's a special place down below for people that do that kind of stuff. Okay. So, sorry to hear that. Um, and you're divorced about 2 weeks ago. I never signed anything, not even the I-130. Okay, so happy girl. Okay, let me go to the next. Okay, here we go. I've emailed USCIS via email due to his many, many secrets and fraudulent issues. That's really bad. Question is, will I need your assistance because he has committed government health insurance fraud and marriage fraud? Okay, so happy girl. Okay, here's the deal. If you haven't filed anything with immigration, you don't need my help. Okay, you do need to talk to your divorce attorney to do things that will help protect you from things that this loser may have done to you and you don't know it yet. Okay, so definitely speak with your divorce attorney. But as far as marriage fraud, I mean, usually the context of marriage fraud doesn't come up unless unless you've been harmed, meaning there's something that has happened that challenges or puts you in a worse position as far as your rights, or as far as you doing something in the local court system. Marriage fraud is pretty bad, but usually with immigration, it doesn't matter. If you haven't filed anything with immigration, you don't have to do anything because you haven't tried to sponsor this person. If you check out my YouTube channel, which you're already joining us from YouTube. Check out my channel and do a search because I have done a video where I talk about what you can do to contact immigration if somebody's done this sort of thing to you, okay? Because you need to watch the future. You haven't filed yet, but if something happens in the future, this person lies to the government, which clearly they don't care anything about lying. They're going to do it freely. You might need to watch yourself because that person very likely is going to lie to the government, lie and say that you did things that you didn't do, and even sign something saying that it was you. So I would watch it. And I definitely, you set up here that you already emailed immigration. That's great. Doing it in writing is highly important, and I say that in my video. In writing, super critical, okay? On the phone with them is good too, but if you do it in writing, even better. Provide as much information as you can about your ex, so that immigration can be on the lookout for them, because people like that always try to commit fraud with immigration, and they'll use anyone they can in order to make it happen, okay? So sorry to hear that. I'm glad that you've made the right choices. Stick close to your divorce attorney because you might need to do something to protect yourself further in your local court, okay? Let me see here. Mr. M, how you doing? Thank you for joining us from Nashville. Always a pleasure to have you on our show, so thank you kindly. And I'll put that here so you guys know who I'm talking about. I just learned this. I've been doing this for how long? And I just learned that I could actually click on the questions and post them for everyone to see. So, yes, happy girl, my pleasure. Hopefully you figure out things. Sounds like you caught it before things happened really badly, but hang in there, okay? Don't give up hope. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back up here because 1 second here, folks. I'm balancing a bunch of things. So this is a follow-up question. Felicia, my question is, why is it taking too long? Now, let me go back up to your first question. Okay. Okay. Your mom filed for your sister in 2017. If you'd give me more information about your mom, is your mom a legal permanent resident or are you a citizen? That has a major impact on the different visa bulletin, the processing times for the different category of the family relationship. Okay, so that's the key. 2017 was not that long ago, depending on the relationship for the sponsor and the beneficiary. Okay, 2017 is not that long. For example, the F1, which is the U.S. citizen sponsoring their children, It's a very long time. We got a friend that joins us every week from the Philippines, Joselito, and he's been waiting for years and years. Okay, so it really depends on the category, the family relationship. So if you have that information, post it there so I can see it and give you a better idea of how long it might be taking. Let's see. Okay. Boy, happy girl. He even screwed with your mail. I tell you what, you need to get in touch with your divorce attorney and the local prosecutor and potentially even the FBI. You can't mess with people's mail, right? That is like one of the most sacred things in the United States is the mail system. You don't mess with the mail system. And people who do, they get put away in prison. I don't mean for the weekend, for the visit to the jail. I mean prison, like federal prison. So check with your divorce attorney to ask about that because you're not going to want to let something like that go. The best defense is offense, right? So if you can get on the offensive with this loser who freaking is doing bad stuff, that's probably the best way to protect yourself. Okay. Um, one second, I'm reading these. Okay. Okay, my pleasure, happy girl. Again, I'm sure there's a ton more that you would like to talk about, but stick close to your attorney and I wish you luck. I hate hearing stuff like this. And again, I'm talking about this here, right? Um, hate hearing stuff like that. So I hope you land up on your feet. So Felicia, your mom is a US citizen. Your sister is how old? I'm assuming. Um, so I'm talking about this one here. Um, your mom's a U.S. citizen, and your sister is how old? Because we're talking about the F1 category. And also, Felicia, where is your mom and your sister from? I get most people are from the same country, but that's not always the case. So if you provide a little bit more information, I can give you even more detail. Okay. So let me, while you're doing that, I'm going to go over to my friends on Instagram. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. We really appreciate you joining us. And I see that you guys already know how this works. There's a lot of people asking questions and making comments. So I cannot share these questions on the live, so I'm just going to have to read it to y'all. So this is Harry. I want to move my asylum case from California to Indiana. What's the process? So Harry, this is one of those sorts of things where I typically tell somebody to schedule a consultation because it depends on how long you've had asylum. It depends when it was filed. It depends, where you are in the queue of waiting. A lot of times when you change from one venue to another, it extends your wait time by a whole lot more, okay? Because each region has an asylum office. Like here in Michigan, we deal with Chicago. I'm assuming the Indiana field office area deals with Chicago too. Chicago has very different processing times than California. I don't know what they are, but that definitely has an impact on your overall case and whether you do want to move it. I've had many clients decide that they're going to keep it in the location, the venue that they originally filed, and they'll just fly there to go to their interview. It's not really a big deal. There's most of the time, the only advantage to having your case transferred is if it improves your processing time, okay? Sometimes it doesn't. It's really hard to know, okay? So be very careful with that, okay? Let's see here. Looking through the questions. Okay, so this is a question. If an I-129F was sent to the California Service Center and their published processing time right now is 9 months, is it possible that it can be shorter? Okay, this is Colombiana Eats. Okay, it is possible. How likely is it that things are going to go quicker? I don't know, man. It's the government's all over the place, especially with election time. It's really hard to predict these things, but theoretically, it is possible for things to go quicker. Okay, processing times depend on how many people are in the general area, how many people are the field office is dealing with. It is possible that they go faster. It's not too often that things improve, but it is possible. Okay. Um, when in doubt, you can reach out directly to immigration. I know a lot of people don't know that or don't think about that because if you've ever called immigration, you know what a pain it is to contact them sometimes because you have to wait on hold and you get the runaround. But you do have that right, and you can check with them about things like this. Um, Good luck to you. Okay, if you have questions, you can always book a consultation. Let me post it again. I don't know if I posted it on this platform yet, so let me post that. It's always good to book a consultation. I can do more in-depth communication with you if you book a consultation. Okay, so right back here. So, okay. Okay, so this is a very good question. And the real Bernard, I know you've joined us many times. I think you're from Jamaica. If it's one of the other beautiful islands down there, and I mixed it up, I'm sorry for that. So, can you do your medical now? Okay, I would say yes. That used to be absolutely not true. But now, immigration, they've changed yet again their policy and how they handle the medical exams. Instead of making it expire within a very short period of time and making you redo it, redo it, redo it, redo it, the medical exams, I think, are good for 2 or 5 years. So you absolutely can get your medical exam sooner rather than later. I don't know if there's an advantage to doing it sooner, but you absolutely have the right to do it because it doesn't expire like it used to. Okay, and remember, if you are down in the Caribbean, um, you're going to be dealing with a specific office, right? And a specific embassy and a specific doctor's office. So you can't pick and choose. I mean, sometimes there's 2 or 3 options, but if you're trying to do it way ahead, um, typically if you're going through their consular processing through the embassy, you don't really have the right to do it before immigration processes your request and tells you that you can move forward with it. Okay, so be careful. I mean, if you're in the United States, it's a heck of a lot easier because there's lots of providers, and all you have to do is go on the list on uscis.com. Check out my videos. I tell you how to do it, and you can, if you're adjusting status and you're in the United States, you absolutely can go ahead and schedule your own medical exam, and you have plenty of time. It's not going to expire. You could definitely do that. Again, all this stuff is in the context of what's really going on in your case. I mean, if you're at the beginning stage of your process and you've got 5 years left, well, then that's not a good idea to do your medical exam. But if you got like a year or 2 years, you're probably going to be good. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So let me go back over. And again, if you have questions, please post your questions and I will share them with the group and answer them in the order that I see them. Okay. Okay. So let me go back over here. Okay. So I really want more questions. Okay. And I'm glad that we have some good people that are asking questions, but it's kind of drying up a bit. I always have questions that I have prepared based on conversations I had with people and consultations earlier today and the end of last week. But I really would like live questions, so please post your questions. It's never happened before, but if I don't have questions or content, I end early. I've never had to do it. So please ask your questions. I'm going to go to some of the questions that were prepared earlier. Where did I put that? 1 second, folks. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to go here, and because I did have a couple that I wanted to go over that I thought were worthy of bringing up and telling you guys. No, darn it. Stand by, you guys. It's always okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So a question I had earlier. It was on my YouTube channel. Where is it? Okay. Okay, I did a video that was about marriage fraud, which is we had a question a little while ago about marriage fraud. Let me go back here. 1 second, you guys. Okay, no, it's here. Huh. Oh, there we go. Show. There we go. And then hide. Again, like I told you, this is a new trick that I learned. And I wanted to go to the comments. How do I get rid of that? There you go. Okay. So if you have questions, again, information at the bottom of the screen, if you wanted to reach out to me. But this question that I started to answer a second ago, this was from YouTube. And I posted a question about marriage fraud, okay? And the person here says, that happened to my son. Can he mention that fact during the final divorce hearing? Absolutely. I'm not here in the context of a divorce lawyer. I've been a divorce lawyer in the past. As I said, I've been practicing for 20 years. But absolutely, 100%. If you're going through a divorce and your soon-to-be ex was committing fraud, if the fraud was in the context of immigration, absolutely bring that up to the judge. The judge would love to hear that, okay? Because then the judge is going to ask all sorts of uncomfortable questions to your soon-to-be ex. So yes, you can absolutely bring that information up to the judge. It shows intent. It shows the type of character a person is, and that is very relevant for a divorce, okay? And for immigration. Okay, so let me go back. I've got some questions here. Okay, here we go. I'm a U.S. citizen mother from Brazil, and I live there. So how long is it taking actually for the I-130 in the USCIS to be approved or denied? Sorry about your English. No, your English is great. Way better than my Portuguese. So I-130, you're okay. So we're talking about U.S. citizen mom sponsoring a child, daughter, right? For Maria. How long is it taking them to approve the I-130s? So processing times, and I think I recently did a video about processing times for these. I think that, so again, Maria, I guess it depends if you're talking about just the I-130 or if you're talking about the I-130 has funneled all the way through to the embassy, and the embassy is trying to schedule the interview and all that stuff. So, I mean, it depends on that relationship. So Maria, okay, your son is a U.S. citizen. So U.S. citizen son sponsoring a parent, okay? So the good thing is that is a immediate relative category. So a son sponsoring a parent is immediate relative. So that means that the I-130, there's no wait time for an I-130. It's just processing time, which I get. You have to wait, but it's not the same thing as having wait time. So typically speaking, I-130, son sponsoring a parent, a mother, usually it takes, I would say a year to 15 months for that I-130 to get approved, okay? And then you continue to move forward to the embassy in Brazil, okay? Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna put this up. Wait, before I answer this question, okay. Oh man, one second. I am gonna get to a question about processing time here, but I have a bunch of things that have popped up on my um, Instagram feed. Okay, and this is a question from Columbiana Eats. With a potential change in the administration coming after the election, and then and Columbiana, you didn't finish that question. I really want to answer it because I think it's a question that a lot of people are asking about the political change, the presidential change, and all that stuff. So if you can finish that question, I think everyone would greatly appreciate it. Okay. Okay, one second. I'm reading through the feeds. Yeah, okay. So Columbiana, if you can still finish it, I'm happy to see it. So yeah, go ahead and finish it. I'll come back, and when I see it finished, I'll answer the rest of that question. Okay. In the meantime, let me go back here. I was going to answer a question about let's see. Okay. There are a lot of questions here now, so I appreciate everyone asking their questions. We've got a few minutes left. So, okay. So the right here, I was going to post this. There's a question about F2A category and the processing time for that. I mean, let me just, okay, visa bulletin. So we're talking about F2A category, right? F2A. And one second here, I'm going to answer this, and then I get, I believe the real Bernard provided more information that I wanted to get back to him about. Okay, so F2A, and we're talking, what country were we talking about? Let me go back and refresh my memory here. Okay. Yeah, Carija, what country are we talking about here? Because it makes all the difference. It's the family relationship and the country. Okay, Morocco. Let me see here. So Morocco is in the category of the basically the general world category. Okay, so F2A, they're processing requests from the 22nd of November of 2021. So it's a good 2+ years for the F2A category. Okay, so I hope that helps. And my pleasure, Maria. Okay. And I said that I was going to go back up to the real Bernard. Okay. It's up here. One second, my friend. How far up was that? Oh, no, that's, I think that's on Instagram, right? Okay. So the real Bernard, you're married to a U.S. citizen since July of 24, living together, and you're filing your green card application December. Is it too soon to do it now or wait until next year? Okay. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen, stuff is going to go quickly enough. And this is a question that was related to do medical exams. And if you're filing in the United States, you probably are okay to go ahead and do that medical exam now. It's not going to expire before you get to your interview because it's a U.S. citizen spouse relationship. Those are typically the quickest out there. So you probably are safe to do that. It's not really a problem doing that. Okay, let me go here. So this is a very good question. Okay. This is Rico Genios. How can you get a green card as an immigrant? Very good question. Go to my YouTube channel. Type that sort of question. I'm going to answer it, of course, but only people who have sponsors can get a green card in the United States. And if that's based on a family relationship, or if that's based on a work relationship, if it's based on a relationship with being an investor, there's a lot of different ways to get a green card. But I do family-based immigration. So typically speaking, you have to have a sponsor who can start the process for you that allows you to get an interview and get a green card. Okay. That's just a very quick explanation of how that works. You may need to book a time to talk to me because I sense that you are going to have a lot more questions than just that. And well, I'm over on my time, but this Monday is very, very valuable for a lot of people, but I can't answer everything. So some people really need to book their time to speak with me directly. And that link is how you do it. Okay. I'm going to see if there's anything interesting that I can answer quickly. I'm actually out of time, but let me look through this real quick. So girlfriend. Okay. So can a girlfriend sponsor me? Girlfriends cannot, fiancés can. So if you guys get to the point where you're engaged and you're gonna get married, well, then there's a fiancé visa, and I handle those all the time. So if you had questions about that, definitely book that consultation with me, okay? And I would love to help you with that, okay? All right, so let me go here. One last time, I'm gonna look through here, see if I missed anyone. I missed a lot of people, but if anyone that I can do that's fairly quickly, I would like to quickly get that out. If not, please remember to post your question next week. Um, thank you, happy girl. That's very nice. I have a very nice staff. I appreciate that very much. Let's see. Yeah, I think, oh man, this is juicy. So an investigator came to your house looking for your ex because of all of his fraud. That's bad. I would cooperate with anyone who's trying to come after him. I would cooperate like it's nobody's business. And I know you know that because you've already been talking with your divorce attorney. You guys, this time goes so quickly and it goes way too quickly. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it very much. I really enjoy this, and I think there's a lot of value with what we do here. And most of the value is because you guys have really good questions that I can answer and provide helpful guidance to a lot of other people. Again, don't forget to check my YouTube channel. I've got a lot of videos, a ton of videos on there, okay? Both English and Spanish. So check it out. If you need to book a time with me, the link that's there, you can always do that. At the bottom of your screen is my web address, my phone number. Check me out. See you next Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It will no longer be the spooky Halloween edition, but whatever. You guys have a good Halloween, and I will see you next week.